Good evening, everyone. Before we get started this evening, as is mandatory with all university functions of this size, I would like to read the university's emergency protocol statement. Welcome to Eastern Connecticut State University and the Betty Tipton Room of the Student Center. In an effort to ensure everyone's safety in case of an emergency, please take notice of the emergency exits located at the rear side and front right of the room. Please note the closest emergency exit to your seating area, and remember that you do not have to exit through the same door in which you entered. To report an emergency, please dial 911. In the event of an emergency, please follow the instructions of the University Police Department or university officials at this event. Thank you. And now, welcome to the 20th Annual E-Club Athletic Hall of Fame Induction Ceremony. The Hall of Fame was established in 1986 to recognize the achievements and contributions of the university's dedicated athletes, coaches, and administrators who have made a profound impact on the athletic program here at Eastern Connecticut. Through the support of the administration and the ECSU Foundation, the Hall of Fame Committee is proud and honored to continue this tradition this evening by adding 5 outstanding former student athletes to our Hall of Fame roster. And now to get the ceremony underway, it is my pleasure to introduce our mistress of ceremonies this evening, Hall of Famer Dr. Bonnie Edmondson.
Thank you very much, Scott. Good evening and welcome. As an alumnus of Eastern, it's an honor and a pleasure to share this exciting occasion. The Eastern Athletic E-Club Hall of Fame is indeed one of the premier events at our university, and we are here this evening to celebrate the accomplishments and service of very special and talented individuals. Each and every one of the honorees today has made a difference and has left their legacy here at Eastern. Through teamwork, dedication, and commitment, they have excelled in athletics and in life and exhibit the qualities of true champions. Congratulations to all of the honorees and their families, friends, coaches, and significant others who are instrumental in their success. And now, to continue the tradition of welcoming the new inductees into the Hall of Fame, we now have current members of the Hall of Fame form a corridor along the middle aisle of the room so they can formally welcome our new Hall of Fame inductees as part of our entrance ceremony. As I call their names and they move to form the entrance corridor, please welcome our current Hall of Fame members who are with us this evening. Cynthia Washburn, Amy Keene-Steed, Tammy Schundemeyer, Beth Regan, Joe Naratsky, Jason Brasher, Dan Swichenko, John Risley, Rick McCarthy, Donna Poyant, and Shannon Slago. And if anyone else is here that is in the Hall of Fame that came in, please join the entrance ceremony as well. And now, ladies and gentlemen, the presentation of the 2013 inductees. Please welcome 2013 Hall of Fame inductee Allison L. Coleman, escorted by her presenter, Denise Beerley. Please welcome 2013 Hall of Fame inductee Jason D. Edwards, escorted by his presenter, Kathy Manizza. Please welcome 2013 Hall of Fame inductee Christine H. Mock, escorted by her presenter, John Risley. Please welcome 2013 Hall of Fame inductee Victor Pereira, escorted by his presenter, Dan Swichenko. Please welcome 2013 Hall of Fame inductee John D. Rubano, escorted by his presenter, Rick McCarthy. At this time, I would also like to acknowledge and thank Mr. Al Morano for his musical entertainment as our official musician of the Athletic Hall of Fame. Thanks, Al, and I'd personally like to thank you for the special rendition of Take Me Out to the Ball Game in honor of the Red Sox game tonight. So thank you. Thought I'd lighten it up a little bit here. It is, ladies and gentlemen, is now my pleasure to invite to the podium a very popular and integral member of Eastern's community. Ladies and gentlemen, please welcome Father Larry Lapointe to deliver the invocation. Father Larry.
So we're praying for the Red Sox? Is that what it is? Spoken like a Yankee fan. This is a wonderful, wonderful event every year, honoring as it does excellence in athletic competition, but also that wonderful bond that exists here at Eastern that recognizes the connection between excellence in athletics and excellence in the classroom and excellence in character. The honorees for tonight join a very distinguished cadre of alums and of coaches who have contributed so much to the life of the university. Even before it was a university. And we who gather here to honor them tonight remember them with deep affection. We remember also the coaching staff and the support staff that makes it possible for our athletic programs to be as wonderful as they are. And the families who have provided so much encouragement for our honorees at various points in their lives, but especially when they're here at Eastern. Something quite wonderful happens to our athletes while they are here, and that is that they build friendships which last them for the rest of their lives. They learn something about teamwork, something that makes them actually better members of the society of which they are a part. And so for all of that, as we gather together, we are grateful. And yet, because we represent many different religious traditions and many different philosophical perspectives, it's difficult really to find words to use to adequately express what we are feeling. So I invite you, if you would now, in a moment of silent reflection, since silence really makes us more one than words could ever do, to remember with deep gratitude some moment in the life of one of the honorees that you're particularly familiar with. Remember that moment, remember that person, and let your hearts be filled with gratitude and unity. For all these things and more, we are truly grateful. Amen.
Thank you, Father Larry. It is now my honor to introduce Vice President of Student Affairs, Mr. Ken Bedini, to extend greetings. Welcome, Ken.
Good evening. It is indeed an honor and a privilege to bring greetings tonight, and I do so on behalf of our university president, Dr. Elsa Nunez, all of our faculty and staff, and most importantly, all of our students and student athletes. It is great to be here, and from all of us to acknowledge the honorees and congratulate them. To them, their families and friends, it's pretty cool to be here and participate in this, so let's get on with it.
Thank you very much, Ken. Next, I would like to invite to the podium an Eastern alumnus and Associate Director of Alumni Affairs, Mr. Ryan Rose. Welcome, Ryan.
I can't just do it off the cuff like the other two guys did. So, good afternoon. My name's Ryan Rose, and I'm the Associate Director of Alumni Affairs. As an Eastern graduate and former member of the men's lacrosse team, it's a real honor for me to address the hall this evening. I'm especially proud to see another of my former teammates inducted into the hall today. I can speak from experience when I say that the leadership, dedication, and work ethic of our Hall of Fame members made each of your teammates better athletes and better people. Your induction today ensures that you will continue to be a positive influence on Eastern students for years to come. I remember seeing the Hall of Fame plaques in the Sports Center, and it motivated me and inspired me to work harder. Seeing those plaques every day reminded me I was part of a proud tradition here at Eastern. I'm sure that the athletic alumni in the room today would agree that our experiences as student athletes and our teammates have provided us with memories and friendships that are among the greatest of our lifetimes. As I'm sure you all do, I remain in close contact with many of my former teammates and look forward to any opportunity for us to come together as a group. Much like our alumni games and reunions, today's ceremony provides a great opportunity for alumni to reconnect with former teammates, coaches, and the university. I'm also pleased to see all the family, friends, colleagues, and teammates that are here today to support the 2013 Hall of Fame inductees. Your support throughout the years, I'm sure, has been invaluable. I want to thank each of you for your support of the inductees. And finally, to our newest class of Hall of Famers, thank you for being an inspiration to me and for the inspiration that you'll provide for Eastern athletes for years to come. On behalf of myself and the Alumni Association, congratulations to all of you on your induction. Thank you.
Thank you, Ryan. Nice job. At this time, it's my pleasure to introduce Professor Emeritus and past chair of the Athletic Hall of Fame, Dr. David Yo, to present the prestigious Michael A. Atkin Award. Dr. Yo?
The Hall of Fame Committee is exceptionally proud to present at each of our annual programs the Michael Atkin Distinguished Service Award. Michael graduated from Eastern in 1975, having worked as a student worker in our athletic department. After he graduated, he continued to work in our department for 16 years as a volunteer, showing an exceptional level of dedication and commitment and loyalty. So when he suddenly passed in 1991, we had to do something and did the best we could to design an award that would honor his incredible level of service and love of Eastern. So you have in front of you program notes with quotes from some of our current administrators in the athletic department. And these words speak to someone who goes above and beyond, who doesn't give great service, he gives distinguished service. And these names are all those who have risen above normal expectations and who have given us wonderful examples and true models of what service can be. Mark Macinda, in charge of facilities, was a key person that puts Eastern on the map as an institution with overall extremely high facilities in New England, not just in our conference or in this state. When you needed something done, Mark would say, "I've already done it." Or if you needed somebody to do something, he would say, "Well, I'll do it." If you needed anything like yesterday, it would be delivered like real quick. You don't have a program in athletics without exemplary facilities, and you don't get exemplary facilities without exemplary leaders. I am very proud, on behalf of the committee, to present the Michael Atkin Distinguished Service Award to Mark Macinda.
Dr. Yo. Well, that took the nervousness right out of the situation, didn't it? I want to just say thank you for receiving this award, the Michael Atkins Award. I knew Michael when I first started working here, and he truly loved Eastern. Working here, I can't tell you how proud I have been through my career being able to work and take care of these facilities. They certainly are first class. We would get a call either from Janice Page or Scott Smith. It rained last night, or we have an away game scheduled today. Can you get the facility open? Well, I knew no was not going to be an acceptable answer. So we just went ahead, we did it, and we had their games on schedule. And I just want to say thank you. I am proud of Eastern. I am proud of what we did. And along with great athletes, go a great facility. So we did rise to that occasion, so thank you.
Congratulations, Mark. What an honor, well-deserved. We appreciate all your efforts. I would like now to introduce current Hall of Famer member, Beth Regan. She's going to be speaking about an exciting new initiative that supports the Hall of Fame. So Beth, welcome.
Good evening, everyone. First and foremost, congratulations to all of our Hall of Fame inductees. Believe me, tonight is a very, very special evening. As a former player in women's basketball, softball, and coach here, I can tell you it's been a night that I always remember, not only of my induction, but of every induction. Tonight I wanted to tell you about a new program that Coach Washburn and I were really proud to be a part of. It's called the Hall of Fame Initiative. As a matter of fact, you can see the results of it right now. And some of our current student athletes are here. And they are here due to the generosity of Hall of Famers who have given to this initiative. I got to meet some of them from all of our programs, and what a joy it was to do that tonight, to speak to them, and they are really happy to be here. As a matter of fact, I'd like it if all of the athletes that are here representing our current programs would please stand, and we want to thank you for being here. Thank you very much. They are here due to the generosity of this program. So I guess my message would be, think about what Eastern has done for us. Eastern is like a circle in part of our lives, a circle that never ends. The message is to keep that circle going, to think about what Eastern has given to us, our teammates, our coaches, our professors. Think of those circles as something you want to keep going for those that might be future members of the Hall of Fame. Listen to the Hall of Famers tonight. I guarantee they will talk about those circle of friends, those coaches, and the people that meant so much to them. I guarantee that will be part of their message. So they have given us so much, so my message would be that I learned from my coaches and all those that came before me, to whom much is given, much is expected. So I guess the expectation is that we would love this to continue. And perhaps you will consider the Hall of Fame as part of this initiative. Perhaps you'll consider giving back to those that have given so much to us. So I guess I speak from the bottom of my heart. Eastern has meant so much to me, not only as a player, not only as a coach, not only where I got several degrees here, but to be here today. And I want to thank each and every one of you for that, and each and every one of the future Hall of Famers perhaps, and our student athletes now that get to be a part of this. So thank you very much, and especially thank you to the Hall of Famers that are here tonight, and we hope that you can help us continue this circle too. Good evening.
Thank you very much, Beth. Very, very well said, and such an exciting initiative. And I hope that each and every one of our Hall of Fame folks will be able to continue to cultivate the future and speak with Beth a little bit further about it if you'd like some more information. So thanks again, Beth, and to Coach Washburn for co-chairing that committee. Ladies and gentlemen, it is now time to begin the presentation of the 2013 Eastern Connecticut State University Athletic Hall of Fame inductees. Enjoy.
Allison Coleman is the most acclaimed player in the 37-year history of the Eastern women's basketball program, finishing as the program's all-time leader in virtually every career statistical category. She is currently the only 4-time All-America in NCAA Division III history. Allison could and did play all 5 positions on the court in her career, and sometimes in the same game, and helped Eastern qualify for 4 postseason tournaments and a combined winning percentage of 85%. As a senior, she was voted State Farm's National Player of the Year and was the Sport of Basketball's nomination as the Division III Collegiate Female Athlete of the Year. In her junior season, the Warriors won a program record 28 games and reached the NCAA National Championship game by winning 5 straight tournament games. In those games, Allison averaged 20 points, 12 rebounds, 5 assists, and 3 steals with 13 three-point field goals and 8 block shots. In her career, Allison averaged 17 points and 10 rebounds as well as 5 assists and over 3 steals and totaled 131 block shots and 152 three-point field goals. Less than 10 years removed from her collegiate career, Allison has already been inducted into the Little East and Connecticut Women's Basketball Halls of Fame.
When I was asked to speak on Allison Coleman's induction into the Eastern Connecticut State University Athletic Hall of Fame, I could think of no greater honor. Allison and I have been through a lot together, and I am so proud of all the things that she has accomplished on and off the court. Allison could be considered one of the greatest NCAA Division III women's basketball players that ever played. This is backed up by all her on-the-court accomplishments, team and individual. In coaching her for 4 years and knowing her for the past 14 years, making this statement would only be scratching the surface on who Allison is as a person, athlete, and now coach. I could go on and on about her stats, awards, and number of Hall of Fame inductions. I find while those are important, you quickly discover they are not the end-all be-all to one's life's work. I find a more accurate way of honoring Allison is to describe her as a leader who is compassionate, intelligent, reliable, loyal, and trustworthy. As you would expect, there is no greater competitor than Allison. She had an immense talent and a great work ethic, but that desire for winning cannot be taught. It is a drive. If you don't have it, you will never understand it. She played through a great deal of adversity that only the coaching staff and her teammates knew. There were times she played sick, injured, carrying the weight of the world on her shoulders. Allison also had immense pressure to perform at an All-American level every day for 4 years. This started right after her first scrimmage as a freshman when she scored 25 points. The bar was set very high, but she handled this pressure extremely well. I would try to ease her mind on a daily basis that mentoring her and caring for her would never change based on how many points she scored or rebounds she recorded. What started for Allison and I as a player-coach recruitment in 1999 has now 14 years later turned into a friendship and respect that I will cherish forever. Allison has always been so dedicated to our women's basketball program. During her playing days, when she left Eastern, and also her time as an assistant coach. We have been at the highest of highs, advancing to the national championship game in 2003, and the lowest of lows, losing that game by 2 points. As well as the last 2 seasons, doing everything in our power to rebuild this program to where it once was. I could not have made it through all of it without her. Many times she has mentored me and taught me, instead of the other way around.
I felt that Eastern Connecticut State University was a great fit for Allison. She probably could have gone to any Division I school in the country. I think the fact that she came from a small town, went to a small university, gave her a sense of comfort, gave her a sense of belonging. I felt like athletically, she knew she was going to be able to do well. I just felt like my role as her academic advisor was to make sure that she had that same confidence in the classroom.
You knew Allison was going to be a special player from the moment she stepped on this campus. There's no doubt about that. As a freshman, she took over. But as good as she was then, she evolved, and by her junior year, she was 10 times better than she was as a freshman.
I felt like she had such potential. I just felt like she couldn't see it. So our relationship, I think, started out very slow, and we were able to build over those 4 years mutual respect and trust.
Allison had a tireless work ethic. She didn't care about anything else that was going on. She didn't care about what warm-up music was on our tape. She didn't care about our chants before the game and all that. She just got on the floor. She laced up her sneakers. She got out there and she just dominated. She would find a way to win. If you took out her outside shot, she would dominate in the paint. If they took away the lane from her, she would kill you behind the arc. If her defender had her locked up, then she would distribute the ball. She just had this way to get everyone involved on the floor.
I did see Allison as a diamond in the rough when I met her. She was somebody who had all the potential in the world, but she didn't know it and she couldn't see it. And so I felt like she was kind of like an onion and I had to peel the layers off, kind of one semester at a time.
She just had this fire. She was fierce. Her game was fierce, and she worked harder than anybody else. She really did.
Allison, it is my pleasure and highest honor to welcome you into the Eastern Connecticut State University Athletic Hall of Fame, class of 2013. Congratulations.
Ladies and gentlemen, please welcome to the podium inductee Allison L. Coleman, presented by Denise Brierly, women's basketball coach.
There's some pretty pictures up there, huh? All right. I first want to start by congratulating all the other inductees tonight. You're all so deserving of being here, and it's a privilege to share this evening with you. Thank you to the Hall of Fame committee for giving me the nod. Ever since leaving Eastern as a student athlete, I have thought about this night, and it's an honor that I am most proud to hold. My love for Eastern and the women's basketball program cannot be measured, so it's very exciting to be standing here accepting this award. I want to make sure I give a special thanks to my parents, my family, and other friends that are here today, as they were every day for 4 years here at Eastern, cheering me from the sidelines and always being a huge support for myself and my teammates. Especially my mom, who, if you don't know, made every single game, home or away, with a video camera in tow. Seriously, we still have every single game. My dad watches them every Sunday. I love you guys. I've been very lucky over the years to have people in my life that support me and push me to succeed. One of those people is here tonight and also on the video, all the way from Florida. Sherelle was my advisor throughout my time here at Eastern. She was much more than that, though. She was my counselor, an advocate, and my friend. Without Sherelle and her belief in me, along with several other people here tonight, I probably would not be standing here as a graduate of Eastern Connecticut. Said I wasn't going to do this. It may have taken a little longer than we thought, but we did it. So thank you, Sherelle, for always pushing me to achieve more. During the Least Hall of Fame induction, I won't go through it again, but I got my chance to tell Coach Beerley how much she meant to me. And now being her assistant coach and, going into my 4th year here, I continue to gain more and more respect for her as a friend and a coach. And I just learn so much every day. Thank you for all that you continue to do for me and for always being my rock and my #1 fan. There are a couple other reasons why I'm able to be here, and I'm going to ask you guys to stand up. Kathleen Brodelsky, Deanne Pryor, Kristen Grassi, and Megan Phelps. Stand. Okay, sit. I would not be here without you. You're my teammates. Everything that we were able to accomplish is because of what we did together. I may be the one standing up here tonight, but without you, I can't see it, sorry. But without you, we would not have won those 100 games in 4 years. We wouldn't have made that run to the Final Four, and we wouldn't be able to do a lot of the great things that we were able to accomplish. I want to thank you guys from the bottom of my heart for always giving your all and always pushing me to give mine. It wasn't always easy, and I know I wasn't always easy. Thank you again to the committee, and I hope you guys all enjoy the rest of your night.
The listing of accomplishments by Eastern track and field athletes is a long and impressive one, with 7 of those participants having found their way into the E-Club Hall of Fame. The 8th Hall of Famer from the program, Jason Edwards, is the only individual, however, to have earned All-America honors as many as 4 times. Jason competed in the NCAA National Championships in the long jump a remarkable 6 times, 3 times indoors and 3 times outdoors, and 4 times he attained All-America honors. In his career, Jason won 5 New England championships and was a 21-time All-New England and All-ECAC performer. At the conference level, he was the Little East and New England Alliance individual champion a total of 30 times in the long jump and sprints. 11 years after his final meet, Jason still holds the New England Alliance, Little East Conference, and Eastern Program indoor and outdoor long jump records, as well as the current Eastern indoor and outdoor records at 200 meters.
Jason Edwards is one of those athletes that I was lucky to have coached and will remember for my entire life. As an athlete, he had it all: incredible talent, positive attitude, great work ethic, and focus. He knew how to work hard, but he also knew how to keep it fun and enjoy the sport. Jason's record shows that he was a great athlete, but he's an even better person. He is a true team player who always looked out for his teammates and encouraged each one of them to do their best and achieve their goals. Although Jason excelled in the long jump and the 200-meter dash, he was good at a lot of events, and he would always do whatever I asked and whatever we needed him for the good of the team. He was a true team player. We had a lot of great times in the 3 years that I coached him. I remember his freshman year when we went to the Indoor National Championships in Boston. Jason had a big grin on his face throughout the week, and his excitement was contagious. Jason had me take pictures of him with the porters from the hotel, in the jacuzzi, and with athletes from other teams. He became friends with everyone and had a blast, but when it came time to jump, he was all business. In his sophomore year, we went to Naperville, Illinois for the Indoor Nationals. This is where he earned his first All-American title. But what really stands out in my mind is the trip home. We were on the same little puddle jumper plane as the Springfield College coach and his athlete, a 35-pound weight thrower. Our flight was delayed, and we had to run through the airport to make our connection. This was no big deal for Jason and I, but the 300-pound thrower was struggling. I remember Jason grabbing the 35-pound weight from him and then coaching the kid from the other team, saying, "Come on, buddy, we can get there." And we did. We made the flight. But that story really sums up Jason's personality. He's always there to help, and he's everyone's buddy. There are lots of other little things that stand out in my mind. For instance, when I had to drive the van home from meets, Jason would jump out at the gas station, wash the windows, and ask if I wanted anything from the convenience store. Most kids sleep in the vans, but Jason would sit up front and talk, always asking, "Coach, you doing okay?" After I left Eastern and went to the University of Hartford, my 10-year-old son really missed Jay. We were scheduled to compete with Eastern at a meet at Westland, and my son Greg said, "Mom, do you think Jason will remember me?" When we got to the meet, Jason swept Greg onto his shoulders and took a lap around the track. Then he had him help get his mark for the long jump. The grin on both of their faces was priceless. One of the first things I did when I got rehired at Eastern last year was track Jason down. We had stayed in touch for a few years after he graduated, but I hadn't heard from him in a while. Through a teammate, I was able to find him, and after we met for lunch, I asked if he wanted to join me as assistant coach. It has been great having him pass his love of the sport on to our current student athletes, and he is doing a lot in helping to rebuild the track program here at Eastern Connecticut State University.
The first time we met was on the team. We were teammates. And after that, we became roommates, and the relationship just grew into a lifelong friendship.
We met through a mutual teammate who was a high school teammate of his, and he brought him up on a recruiting visit, and he clicked with everyone from the minute that he came to our practice. My first impression of Jason when I first met him was that he was just ultra competitive and wanted so much to be a part of the Eastern team.
Jason was an accomplished long jumper, but also an accomplished sprinter. Never forget racing against him in finals, and just from the starting blocks being next to him, and then 2 seconds later he's gone. He was just that much of a standout athlete on the track. Relay races with Jason, as long as I got him the baton, we won every single time. Never had to work with a handoff with Jason. It was just always a chemistry with him. He just had that sense of ease about him on the track as a teammate and running with him. You always knew you were comfortable, you always knew you were in good hands, and he was a very talented athlete.
When it came time for a meet, he became really focused on the event, and you could see it in his eyes when he got in the blocks or on the runway. There was an intensity and just a desire to win at all costs. Jay's success as a long jumper was completely attributed to his speed. He had so much speed. A lot of times you see long jumpers, they have pretty decent speed and then just a ton of explosiveness off the board, and usually go really high out and over the pit. Jay was shot over the pit like a laser because he had so much speed coming down the runway. It just carried him out into the pit.
Jason was the athlete who was approachable. He was more into the sport for the sport and his teammates than he was for the success in the limelight, and was a perfect fit here at Eastern.
He fit really well with the team.
It is my honor at this time to present for induction into the 2013 E-Club Hall of Fame, Jason D. Edwards.
Ladies and gentlemen, please welcome to the podium Jason D. Edwards, 2013 inductee, presented by his coach, Kathy Menizza. Congratulations.
Oh boy, well, I had to clean the window so to make sure we get there safe. Well, good evening. I'm very honored to be here today and be a part of Easton's history. I would like to thank the E-Club for all their hard work putting the ceremony together, especially Bob Molta and Scott Smith. I mean, these guys, I don't know if they ever take a break at all, but usually when people take breaks, they say, we'll be right back. But we need to come up with a sign to say, I'm always here. But this achievement brings us back to a moment that occurred in 2008. It was April 26th, and I was in upstate New York traveling with the Harlem Superstars comedy basketball team. I received an alarming phone call at 4 o'clock in the morning, and I could tell by the sound of my father's voice something was wrong. He said, son, we had a fire and we lost everything. The entire complex got burnt down. I said, are you okay? He said, I'm okay. But with his sense of humor, he said, son, I'm okay. I grabbed my stuff, grabbed whatever I can grab, and later on I realized I had 2 left shoes on. Later that day, everything had sunk in. I realized that we had lost all our things, but one thing that stuck in my mind was my memorabilia, my awards, my certificates, my plaques, everything from high school up to now. I remember my cousin saying to me, cousin JJ, at the next family reunion, can you bring some of your stuff? And I said, I don't have anything. But not today. Today I feel like we never had that fire. Today I have something to show my family and my friends. Today, I have a special honor that I'll remember forever. An old man had said to me once, it takes the 3 Ds. I wasn't too sure what he was talking about. But he said, desire. How bad do you want it? Determination. Never giving up, setting your goals. Dedication. Doing whatever it takes to get the job done. Giving 110%. Well, I guess he was right. I'd like to thank my father. I'd like to have my father stand up, my mother. You guys stay standing. I'd like to thank my father for flying in from South Carolina to be here with me today. You guys, my mother, you guys have always supported me, and to have you guys here today, I know when we're younger and we separate or whatnot, but to have you guys be here with me today is a great honor, and to be a family again, and I appreciate that. And you guys have always supported me in anything that I've done and always been there for me, and I appreciate that, and I love you guys, and you guys are my best friends, you're my role models, and you guys are my Hall of Famers. You guys stay standing. Don't sit down. I'm not gonna stand up too long. I'd like to also thank my family, my aunt, my cousins, all my family and friends. You guys can stand up with me as well. Everybody just stand up. I'd like to say special thanks to Peter Capizone. He's in the back. Peter Capizone. He was my high school coach, and this is where it all started, in Old Saybrook Senior High School. And I can remember Cap when I say, oh, I don't want to run the 400, but he always pushed me. And this, I guess, is what happens. We're here today. I'd like to also thank Anthony Verderam and Chris Frasinski for all their hard work by putting all this stuff together, because I know it takes a lot. I thank you guys so much. Talent only gets you so far, but I didn't get here alone. One woman's pushed me when there are times where I want to give up. She has put up with me and complained when I complain, saying, are we done yet? She taught me we can all be dreamers, but we have to go out and do it. She is Kathy Menezes, my Eastern coach. And today, Kathy, we did it. Thank you so much for all your support and all your hard work working with me. You're not only, at that time when I was an athlete here, she was my coach then, but now to be here, to work with her, along with her, it's a great honor, and I thank you so much. When somebody believes in you, you can always achieve everything. Once a warrior, always a warrior. Thank you again for this honor.
Chris Mock was a proven winner in high school, helping her teams rack up 4 state championships in softball and basketball. Not a lot changed at Eastern, where the Southington native was a key part of 1 national softball champion and 1 basketball Final Four qualifier. In softball, Chris was a first baseman on 4 straight NCAA Division III regional softball tournament championship teams, the final 2 of which reached the national championship round. In basketball, she played the post as a 2-year letter winner and starter. As a senior in basketball, Chris started every game and helped the program to its first berth in the NCAA Final Four. In 2 games in the Northeast Sectional Tournament, Chris totaled 30 points and 23 rebounds and was named to the All-Tournament team. In softball, the 2-sport captain batted .356 with a .984 fielding percentage on teams which won over 80% of their games and gained All-America honors as a senior. Chris stepped into the starting role for the first time on the 1990 National Championship team, batting .348 with a .984 fielding percentage. In her final at-bat of the season, she contributed a key 5th-inning double when Eastern scored the only run of the national title game.
Chris Mock was mature, she was a giver, she was a person of quality. When she first came to Eastern, she was not a great athlete, although she had great training at Southern High School. But her skill level was down a bit, but as a person, and she put that into what her athletics became, and she just blossomed. But those are qualities you don't find too often. And I would be a bit surprised today if all those qualities have bloomed out into an unusually wonderful woman. But I noticed the maturity in her as a student. Nothing bothered her. She smiled and performed. She was a competitor. From the minute she came to the practice field, she was totally ready to do things in softball or basketball. You know, sometimes you say athletics is 90% determination, 10% skill. Well, she had more than 10% skill. She was strong and aggressive and a good athlete, but the 90% of the perseverance would have been true with her. I remember the end of her sophomore year. I used to stay and hit ground balls and hang around with the pitchers. I was responsible for the pitchers, but she knew I liked to hit ground balls. Coach Riz, can we hit ground balls? Sure. At the bucket, we hit them. I never hit any more ground balls, and I hit a lot of them. Baseball, softball. She took the most of anybody. You couldn't get her away. She just developed. I mean, just eventually she fielded everything that came her way. But it was all upon her determination and her practice. One of the greatest practice people I've ever known. When she had to perform in the clutch, she was at her best. And part of that was her character again. She was tough. I don't think coaches use that word a little extraneously, but she literally was tough. She wanted it, she went and got it, and she earned it. I bet you she was a tremendous student in the classroom. She was always the first down to practice. I mean, she was mature. When we were playing in the National in Iowa, we had to win 3 games. The first girl that came in after our infield, always ready to keep the dugout alive, which she did, was Chris. If you looked at Chris, you'd see her there. She'd be coming forward and I'd be just thinking, when's my opportunity? And I'm going to make the most of it. But she never, ever was critical of anything, coaches or players. She was very, very considerate of her teammates, exceptionally so. Chris was not going to let you down. She was going to be there. She was going to scoop every ball that was there when she got good. And she was going to range at first base. Pop-ups were nothing to her. She could run well. And when she got in the clutch, she could hit.
What I remember about Chris Mock was she came in at the same time I did, and she was really quiet at first, but she worked hard, and she knew that she had a lot of skills to work at before she could become a starter, and she accepted that.
Chris was very successful on the court because she was tough, she was motivated, she was competitive. I think she was probably the nicest of the 5 of us, and that's no offense to the other folks who are superior players that I had the privilege of playing with, but she was very nice, and she brought out the good in all of us. I think all of us played better because of her. Now, that said, she also completely contributed to the wins.
She came in her junior year ready to go, worked really hard, and just took over at first base and became a clutch hitter. And she led us in every category offensively, I think, that year.
She always contributed in some huge way, maybe differently each time, but it was always a game changer.
She would get those clutch hits, and no one really expected it. And then we started to expect it, and she still came through in the clutch. I mean, you think about the national tournament where she got that sacrifice fly, or she, put the ball in play, or got a double here or there. Mocker was more of a singles doubles hitter, but at the same time, you knew she was going to come through whenever you needed her to. And it's because of her demeanor and her mental toughness when she got in the box. She knew what she needed to do.
She scored, she rebounded, she played defense. I mean, she had some incredibly outstanding games that when everything else was failing, she just absolutely picked up everybody's slack and put us into a win.
At this time, it is my great pleasure to introduce as a 2013 E-Club Hall of Fame inductee, Christine H. Mack.
Ladies and gentlemen, please welcome to the podium 2013 inductee, Christine Bach. Presented by former coach John Risley. Congratulations.
Thanks so much. Thank you. How am I supposed to speak after watching that? Thought it was going to be good, but whew, tear. I would like to thank the Eastern Connecticut State University Hall of Fame Committee for selecting me as one of the Hall of Fame inductees this year. I'm very honored to be part of this prestigious group. I remember at one induction back in the early 90s, a former teammate of mine said, "We'll be here watching you getting inducted one day," and I thought she was crazy, and I still can't believe I'm here in front of you all today. Thank you to Smitty for all that you did. Thank you to Coach Riz, Diana, and Lauren for all the nice words that you said on the video. That was very touching to me. Thank you. I also would like to congratulate the other inductees, Vic, Allison, Jason, and John. I'm very honored to be part of this with you here today. Congratulations again. I played 3 sports in high school and was hoping to play at least one of them in college, never thinking I would play 2. I visited Eastern with an assistant coach to watch a friend play softball, and everything about Eastern just felt right to me. Even the school colors were the same. No one recruited me to play. I just kind of showed up and tried out for the softball team. Stress fractures from high school kept me from playing basketball, but by my junior year, I knew I had to try out for the team because I'd always feel like, what if? I just had to give it a go. Luckily, everything just fell into place and it worked out. There was a spot for me and I was able to contribute. My senior year, we went to the school's first Final Four. We lost to the powerhouse team in Minnesota, but we won our consolation game and came in 3rd. I actually got to end my career with a win. The season lasted so long that I came back from campus, was here about a week, and then had to fly off to Florida for the softball season. Our season was starting right up. But I wouldn't have it any other way. Playing fall softball, then basketball, and then back to softball again. The biggest regret, though, I probably have is not coming back after I graduated. I still had basketball eligibility, and I should have came back another year. That still gets me. Anyway, I do feel like playing basketball helped me in softball with conditioning, strength, and confidence. My junior year, I became a starter. We won the national championship. In the 4 years I played here, we went to nationals each year, and we never came lower than 3rd. Usually the seniors never got to walk in graduation because we were always at nationals, but luckily Eastern hosted the nationals my senior year. So myself and Bridget, we got to walk in graduation, get our diplomas, get pulled out of line early by our coach, Jeff, take a quick picture, walk to the sports center, change into our uniform, walk down the hill to the national championship game on our field. That was pretty wild, special day. We didn't win. Unfortunately, I didn't get to end my career with a win in softball, but we lost to our good friends from Central College. There are many things that come to mind when I think of my athletic career here. Tradition, looking for the warrior in the woods, driving the vans to Florida, 6 a.m. practices, driving a railroad spike into the ground before a game to build our new road. Rivalries with Southern Maine and Trenton, the friends we made with other teams, to which I'm still friends with today, bus rides, plane rides, going to Hawaii, Niagara Falls, Iowa, Illinois, cheering in the dugout, no guts, no glory, many highs and sometimes lows, but it was all worth it. I'd like to first thank my high school coaches, Coach Dario and Piazza, for all they taught me during my high school years, which I feel helped prepare me to play in college. Thank you to Bullet, Dr. Yo, and all the trainers. Thank you to Coach Miller for believing in me, Paul Gallo and Lauren Parati, who never seemed to mind all the questions because I was the question girl. Thank you to Coach Washburn for creating the warrior spirit and tradition in our own special language. Thank you to Jeff Anderson, who I, along with Diana and Bridget, were the first group to play the first 4 years under Jeff as a new coach. He's no longer with us today, and he is greatly missed. Thanks to Coach Riz, JJ, and all my teammates in both sports, for without you, I would not be able to stand here today. I appreciate all of you that are here today, my teammates Lori, Donna, Diana, Dawn, Tammy. I feel very honored that you are here to support me. Thank you to my family and friends who are all here, brother, sister, Anthony, Sue, Tracy, my uncle, cousin, everybody who's here. I really appreciate you being here. Last but not least, a big thank you to my parents. I looked at my mom and she was crying. To my mom, thanks for all the years. When I was younger, picking me up from all those practices, which was mostly on a daily basis, and you and Dad for going to all the games. And to my dad, who especially during my college years, not only would drive an hour and a half to work for many years from Southington to Stonington, he would then drive from Stonington to Willimantic to come watch my games, then take me to Friendly's on Main Street. We'd eat, and then he'd drive back home to Southington. That put him for a long day, but he was always there. I remember Paul Gallo once during one of our scrimmages at basketball saying, "Oh, your dad's here. He's already here. He's here way before the games even started." I'm grateful to be a warrior and part of the history here at ECSU. Thank you again. This means more to me than you'll ever know. Thank you so much.
In 1983, the Eastern men's basketball program knew it had one of the best post players in the region in future E-Club Hall of Famer Kevin Barboza. Soon after the arrival of Victor Pereira a year later, it was obvious that the program had landed one of the best point guards in New England. Born in Portugal, Victor combined quick hands and feet, a competitive spirit and winning attitude, and a relentless work ethic, which provided Eastern with the quintessential point guard who would direct the Warriors to 2 ECAC tournament appearances. The 5'6" Pereira never missed a game in his career, answering the bell in all 104 games, starting the final 92. He graduated as the program's all-time leader in assists, a record which still stands 25 years later, as well as in steals, and amassed a remarkable assist-to-turnover ratio of 1:2.44. As a junior, Victor was the program's first ever All-Little East Conference selection. He repeated all-conference recognition as a senior, when he also gained distinction as the second-team Division III All-New England selection by the ECAC.
A trip to Plymouth State midway through the 83-84 season without our starting point guard was the impetus to recruit a 5'6", 145-pound point guard from Durfee High School in Fall River, Massachusetts by the name of Victor Pereira. Vic played on what to this day is the best high school basketball team I have ever seen. Durfee was 25-0 and Division I state champions. Their tallest player was 6'4". All 5 starters went on to play collegiate basketball. Vic was the floor general. I probably saw Vic play or practice at least 10 times from midseason to the state championship game at the DCU Center in Worcester in March. It was time well invested. As a freshman at Eastern, Vic cracked the starting lineup midway through the season. He dished out 109 assists in a mediocre 12-12 season. A season in which we lost 8 games by a total of 16 points. Vic started all 27 games as a sophomore, leading us to our first postseason tournament appearance in 5 years. He had a 3-to-1 assist-to-turnover ratio, allowed us to press end-line to end-line for 40 minutes, and to break pressure with ease. That 18-9 ECAC semifinalist team was probably my favorite. As a junior, Vic continued to assert himself as one of New England's top Division III point guards. As a senior, Vic led Eastern to its second ECAC postseason tournament appearance in 3 years. He was recognized by being named to the ECAC Division III All-New England team. An impressive feat when you consider he averaged just 8 points a game. I have been a Division I assistant at Ohio State, at Bowling Green State University, and the University of Connecticut. I was a Division III head coach for 15 years. Vic Pereira was the best point guard I have ever coached. His ability to apply constant full-court defensive pressure, his ability to break pressure with ease, his ability to hit the standstill three-pointer from 3 feet beyond the three-point line, and his ability to break defenses down with dribble penetration and find the open man made him a truly outstanding point guard. But what made Vic Pereira a great point guard was his total commitment to the team. He never once was concerned with individual statistics. He never once failed to practice with the same intensity that he played the game with, which was flat out. Never once didn't he use the offseason to improve his body and his skills. I have had only one former student athlete that played 5 years of professional basketball in Europe. I have had only one former student athlete to be inducted into the New England Basketball Hall of Fame. And I've had only one student athlete that has gone on professionally and become the director of athletics at one of the largest high schools in the state of Massachusetts. That student athlete is Vic Pereira.
The first time I saw Vic at the first practice, immediately thought, boy, this guy is small. I don't know if he's going to be able to play college basketball. That thought didn't stay in your mind very long.
The first time I saw Vic play was on a recommendation from Clyde Washburn. I went down to see him and I called switch immediately after the game. After about 1 minute and 30 seconds, he was our guy, great player. I told Dan he was unbelievable athlete, that he's got to be our top priority as a player to get. So the week after, Dan went to see him. He sees me the next day in practice, Switchenko did, and he said, Tony, once again, you've underestimated another player. He's unbelievable. We got to get this kid.
I coached basketball for over 30 years. One of the most important positions is your point guard, and you always worry about, am I going to have a good point guard? Vic, by far, was the best point guard I ever worked with in the 30 years that I coached basketball. And there were some other good point guards too, but to be the best, you had to be able to play defense also. And Vic was also a very, very good defensive player.
The things that make Vic such a great player from day one, and he started for 4 years with us, is his consistency. He's a John Stockton type player. You couldn't press us for 4 years because of Vic.
Vic liked a lot of different sports. Basketball was one of his favorites, but it wasn't his real favorite. He had interest in, I used to see him reading this book all the time, and he loved this book. He carried it with him sometimes. He was very conscientious about going through this, and I think this, by far, was his real favorite sport.
It is my honor at this time to present as a 2013 inductee into the E-Club Hall of Fame, Victor M. Pereira.
Ladies and gentlemen, please welcome to the podium inductee Victor Pereira, presented by former coach Dan Switchenko.
Can't make that up.
Congratulations.
I thought Bernie was still in jail, but I guess not. And Coach Calvecchio kind of referred to John Stockton-esque. Had to be the shorts back in the 80s. That's the only correlation I have with John Stockton. I would like to begin by thanking the Hall of Fame committee for this great honor and electing me into the Eastern Connecticut State University Athletic Hall of Fame. with all the great people in this fraternity is just a great pleasure. I would like to also acknowledge and congratulate my fellow inductees as we share such a special evening. Thank you. I'm going to give you a quick journey of how it all began and how it ended. I was playing basketball at BMC Durfee High School when an ECSU coach, Jeff Anderson, arrived on campus to recruit another student athlete, Andrea Costa. Ironically, both coach and player are ECSU Hall of Fame inductees. I guess it was just meant to be. It was great fortune that he took the time to watch a Durfee basketball game that I was participating in. He went back to Eastern and informed Coach Switch about this 5'6" Portuguese immigrant kid from Fall River, Massachusetts. From that point on, Coach Switch was at my practices in every tournament game we played that year. This relationship continued to nourish as we kept winning. I remember that I was thrilled that a college basketball coach would come to see me practice. And Coach looked like a big-time Division I coach. Look at him now, suit, you look like Bobby Knight. I was kind of thrilled. I still remember it today. It's like I look over, there's Coach Switch. So it kind of meant a lot to me. As we went on to Division I state championship that year, we were in the locker room celebrating. Who do I look over? Coach Switch is there. And to congratulate me on such a great accomplishment. What really impressed me about Coach Switch was when he subsequently visited my home and met my parents. My parents are Portuguese immigrants, and they spoke very little English. Coach came in that day and sat down with my parents and communicated with them as if Portuguese was his first language. I still today don't know how he did that, but it did happen. At that moment, I realized I wanted to play for Coach Switch, and I wanted to attend Eastern Connecticut State University. My Eastern experience, when I arrived at Eastern, I felt right at home. I knew that I was going to achieve great things here. I had full support from Coach Switch. He helped me with my schedule, made sure that I was attending classes and reaching my academic potential. I majored in physical education, and Coach Switch taught many courses in the department. I really took advantage of that because Coach made sure that we studied and were prepared for his exams. And I'll tell you, if people think that physical education is an easy major, think again, because, boy, it is tough. He brought as much intensity and passion in the classroom as he did at courtside. Quite simply, he was a great teacher in two different environments, and I was the beneficiary of both. My basketball experience. I had a great career at Eastern. I really learned how to play the game the way the game should be played. Coach stressed fundamentals, defense, and teamwork. His passion, intensity, and love for the game permeated to his players. He worked extremely hard to prepare and teach us the game, and I wanted to play each minute as if it was my last. I was very fortunate to play along with some great teammates. Kevin Barboza, Danny Still, John McNally, John Fold, David Deal, Bill Brown, John Theriault, and Chris Booth. Great teammates. Not only were they dedicated teammates, but more importantly, they were outstanding people. We spent a lot of time together, and Coach always stressed the importance of being a family. I'd like to mention a few important influential people while I was here. Bob Molter, the hardest working sports information director in the country. And I'd like to congratulate him on being inducted into the Little East Conference Hall of Fame at the end of this month. And again, I'd like to congratulate Bob Moulton for all the hard work that he's done. Dr. Yo, one of the best trainers, again, phenomenal person. He doesn't have much direction driving a van. For those people who know what happened, but besides that, thank you, Dr. Yo, for everything that you've done while I was here. Coach C and Bernie Mulligan, again, two great assistant coaches. They really molded Coach Switch to becoming a better coach. I remember my junior year, this is how far back we go, is they implemented the three-point line my junior year. And one of our players comes down on a break and pulls up for a three. Coach Switch blows a whistle, and he gets on his hands and knees and points at the line. I hate this line. I hate this line. I hate this line. But Tony and Bernie, with a lot of twisting and pushing and shoving, kind of made Coach the coach that he was made to be. Tony and Bernie, thank you. I'd like to know who gave Bernie the bail money to get him out of jail tonight, but we'll talk about that later. And last but not least, Coach Switchenko. I can't imagine there was a better college coach in the country. He demanded the best because he gave his best. You know, he even came close to beating me in a 5K road race at Eastern. Man, I just put it in another gear the last 50 yards. I blew him in the dust. And he was so pissed. He was so mad at me for about a week, you know, he wouldn't even talk to me. But, you know, we got over it and rekindled our relationship, but those are the fun things that we lived through. He instilled in us a sense of discipline that extended beyond the basketball court and into the classroom. Through him, we learned how to succeed in both environments. He promoted honesty, respect, dignity, and true teamwork. He was my role model. I wanted to follow in his footsteps, pursue a teaching career, and coach basketball. I would not be where I am today if it wasn't for Coach Switchenko and my experience here at Eastern Connecticut State University. He gave me the opportunity to play a game that I loved, and more importantly, to earn a college degree. My university basketball experience prepared me to play professionally in Europe. It also prepared me to be where I am today, serving as athletic director of one of the largest schools in the state of Massachusetts. I am extremely grateful for everything that you have done for me, Coach. I'm proud to share this award tonight with splendid athletes from a variety of sports. And for this, I thank you, Coach Switch. And I think by now everyone knows this. I do love you and respect you. And again, I'd like to thank my beautiful wife being here tonight with my father-in-law and all the people that made my Eastern experience a great one. And it's just a pleasure being here to seeing such friends that I haven't seen in such a long time. So once again, thank you very much, Coach. I love you. You're the man. Thank you.
In the formative years of the program, founder Rick McCarthy coached many of the great Eastern men's lacrosse players. As far as the complete package goes, a player's ability to elevate the play of his teammates and to perform when it mattered most, Coach McCarthy says that there were none better than John Rubano. The first player in program history to gain All-America honors both on the field and in the classroom, John was a big part of 4 unbeaten Pilgrim League regular season and 3 Pilgrim League playoff title teams, and started on the first 2 postseason tournament appearances in program history. In his career, John became the first player in program history to total as many as 100 assists. In all, he totaled 80 goals and 100 assists for 180 points as the Warriors won 55 matches and only lost 10. As Coach McCarthy's first high-profile recruit, John was named All-New England twice and Pilgrim League All-Division 3 times. In addition to being selected honorable mention All-America as a senior, John was picked as an alternate to the prestigious USI-LA North-South National Senior All-Star Game, competed in the New England East-West Senior All-Star Game, and earned recognition on the New England and National All-Academic teams.
It is an honor for me to serve as presenter for John, who is certainly one of the top 1 or 2 players I have worked with over my 44 years of coaching lacrosse. John's statistical accomplishments, which are truly outstanding both on the athletic field and around the campus, have been well documented. Earning both All-American and academic All-American honors is probably the most outstanding recognition a player in any program can receive. As his coach, however, I actually looked at some of the other aspects of his record. During John's 4 years, the team was 55-10 with regular season championships and/or playoffs every year. This speaks volumes about his leadership and his ability to produce in the clutch. John was our key offensive player, scoring 80 goals and an unbelievable 100 assists as a midfielder. In many respects, John is the quintessential Eastern Connecticut lacrosse player, an embodiment of the unique group of players who created the Warrior Lacrosse program and made it a nationally recognized program. He was an intense competitor and a leader who made his teammates better. He loved his team and all the players on it, and he supported each and every player. John understood and appreciated the responsibilities of being a member of a team and was a great representative on our campus. Since graduation, John has become an immensely successful person who maintains the intense bond that we all share based on what we experienced and accomplished together. In at least one major respect, John was unique in our program. He was our first player who came to us from a nationally prominent high school program and was recruited by several nationally recognized college teams. However, he saw the potential in our school and our program and committed himself to helping create something really special. In that regard, he shares a unique perspective on his experience at Eastern because he had high school teammates who went on to play at Johns Hopkins, Hofstra, and other top D1 and D2 programs. I would like to conclude by sharing a very personal conversation I had with John at his wedding reception. While reminding him that early in his career, I had told him that we could become the best program in the country, we looked at the huge group of Eastern players at the reception who shared so much at Eastern and continue to share a lifetime bond. John said to me, "Coach, I now know what you mean. There isn't another group of players who have the bond that we do and to whom their college experience continues to mean so much." John is a Hall of Famer because of his personal accomplishments and because of his leadership on the field and off, and he will carry throughout his life the legacy of pride and love of his team.
John has definitely lives his life on the field and off the field the exact same way. He's driven every day. You know, he expects to perform at the highest levels and expect those around him to perform at the highest levels as well.
He was focused. He had a future that he saw in lacrosse and in life, and he figured out a path and how to get there, and he was determined to do it.
John was the complete package as far as a player, just a guy to know. He was a leader on the field, off the field, an inspiration to many of us, and even still to this day, he still is.
He was a heads-up player. His head was always looking, scanning the field. He could read a defense and find the holes and break it down, better than anyone.
John is not at all shy about sharing his emotions with anybody. John will tell you exactly how it is, but he's always got a point to it. There's never a mean spirit behind it. It's just always his continuous drive to make people around him better.
Yeah, I still remember my sophomore, it was a weekend practice, and I wasn't quite in the mood to practice, so I didn't bring my full intensity, and somehow John and I got matched up in a drill, and he, it was like wolf smelling blood. He called me out and taunted me, basically set a challenge, which I, half-heartedly accepted, and he then threw some moves on me that made my knees buckle and my ankles break. And as I was picking myself off, off the ground, he ran by me and then continued to berate me as he was pushing cage.
You give it 100%, you never stop, and that's John Rubano. He just, relentless.
At this time, I am honored to present for induction as a member of the Eastern Connecticut State University E-Club Hall of Fame, Class of 2013, John D. Rubano.
Please welcome to the podium 2013 inductee John D. Rubano, presented by Coach Rick McCarthy. Congratulations. Thanks so much. Appreciate it.
Good evening, and thank you. Today is a great day. This forum allows me the opportunity to thank those who taught me, motivated me, encouraged, and most of all, believed in me. also allows me the opportunity to talk about the great game of lacrosse and my teammates. You will hear a common theme over the next few minutes of how my family, friends, and lacrosse made me the person I am today. Thank you, E-Hall Athletic Club Committee and Eastern Connecticut State University, and congratulations to my fellow inductees, Allison, Jason, Chris, and Vic, your amazing accomplishments here at Eastern. I would like to thank my family and friends who traveled to be here this evening. Here we all are again, reuniting around the sport that we love. Thank you, Mom and Dad. Love you. You always supported me and believed in me. My sister, Deborah, for being a true role model. You taught me that success comes from passion and hard work. My wife, Janae, for loving me for who I am and for always being there to support and encourage me. My son, Landon, he's here tonight. You're the fuel that drives me, buddy. I love you. And thanks to my grandparents, Mary and Danny. Want to thank my coaches growing up, Mr. Hogan and Mr. Pappas, my youth lacrosse coaches, for introducing me to and teaching me the game of lacrosse. I'm extremely fortunate to have grown up in a town that had lacrosse at a very young age. It's kind of one of like those Malcolm Gladwell outlier stories. Thank you, Doc Yo and the Eastern athletic trainers. You're always willing to put in the extra time and effort to help me through my injuries and keep me on the field. I was a little guy out there getting banged around by some big dudes, so I appreciate it. Thank you to my assistant coaches, Danzo, Warren, and Capone. Each of you helped me become a better player. Coach McCarthy, my coach, my mentor, my friend. Thank you for finding me, recruiting me, and helping me understand that Eastern was the right fit for me. Thank you also for recruiting my teammates. You are the glue that united us. I am forever grateful, Coach. Thank you to the Eastern Lacrosse Founding Fathers for bringing lacrosse to campus and starting the club team. And to Dr. Carter for having the vision to bring NCAA lacrosse here to Eastern and making that a reality. Okay, now it's time to talk about my teammates. I asked myself, how on earth do I talk about a brotherhood of lacrosse players in a matter suited for this venue? Well, I'm gonna play it safe and leave the Richard Simmons, goats, foxy footprints, and 21st birthday helmet stories for this evening. Good kid. The bottom line is that I'm one of the luckiest guys. My teammates were not only great lacrosse players, they are my lifelong friends. Lacrosse is a true team sport, and I am accepting this induction on behalf of every teammate I had here at Eastern. To name a few of those teammates, Jared Beasley. Bees, thank you for taking me under your wing on my recruiting trip. I always remember you telling me that it's not where you go, it's what you make of it. Thank you for also being our leader. You created the culture, Bees, that no matter a freshman, senior, starter, third string, everyone was equal and we all hung out together. Man, I missed those trips from Low Rise down to Spring Street. Eddie Sheehan, my roommate for 4 years, not here tonight, who's taking the sergeant's test in New York City. Good luck, Eddie. But how on earth did you tolerate the kid from Long Island? You were my go-to guy on and off the field, and thank you for being my best bro since day one. Thank you to my teammates and best friends, Scotty Berniker, Ryan Lallier, Ken Graziano, Michael Sabatora, Ryan Kavanaugh, Dan Campbell, and Shannon Sligo. My line mates, Billy McGovern and Jeff Reinhart. Attackers, Lou Williamson and Terry Francois. Midfielders, Ryan Rose, Chris Strykars, Kevin Ireland, and Ian Beasley. And of course, the goalie, Ryan Rattano. Seems like yesterday we met, bro. So many good times. In closing, I am proud and honored to represent Eastern Connecticut State University. My 4 years here at Eastern provided me the foundation for my life's journey. Thank you.
Ladies and gentlemen, what about one final round of applause for our inductees? Just phenomenal accomplishments, and to all of the supporters that truly made this happen. An event like this magnitude takes incredible teamwork. We'd like to extend a special thank you to the Hall of Fame Committee and their chair, Scott Smith, for their hours of work and dedication to making this one of the premier events at Eastern. Thank you for the Hall of Fame members, Hall of Fame Committee, and Scott. The Hall of Fame Committee would also like to thank Media Services Director Nick Messina and his staff for their contributions to the production of the Hall of Fame videos. We would like to give special thanks to Multimedia Assistant Lisa Curtis and her staff of colleagues and students for their expertise in producing and editing each Hall of Fame video. Without Lisa and her staff, there would be no Hall of Fame videos. So thank you. Outstanding videos. Thank you also to the Alumni Association for your support of this event. And finally, the committee extends its deepest thanks, respect, and appreciation to the engine of the Hall of Fame, the writer of the program booklet and the plaques and news releases. Guess who? Our beloved Sports Information Director, Mr. Bob Malta. Bob was here earlier to help out, and due to his true characteristic and personality, he's doing his job, and he's out on the field or working with the athletes at this point in time. So not surprising, and certainly not one to stand up and take accolades, but we know without him, this event would not be the class act that it is. I would also like to remind you about the delicious buffet that is going to happen and be available to each and every one of us at the conclusion of this event. So please stay around and enjoy the food that the Hall of Fame Committee and the Alumni Association has offered to us graciously. And to close this evening, I would like to introduce Eastern Connecticut State University Athletic Director, Dr. Jeff Conan. Jeff?
Thank you, Bonnie. Bonnie just took 85% of my thank yous away, except one, and that's Bonnie. Thank you. Bonnie does an outstanding job and does it with a smile, so we appreciate the efforts you give. There's two things that I want to say very briefly tonight. First is that to the 5 inductees, congratulations, and thank you for taking us into your lives through watching these outstanding videos and also the acceptance speeches that you gave. It gave us all a really good opportunity to learn more about your intercollegiate experience, both on and off the court. So thank you again, and I hope this was a very memorable night for each of you. And the second thing is that I apparently am the only thing separating you and the buffet. So please enjoy the great food that's always served here and drive home safely. And thank you all for supporting this wonderful event. Good night.